Ray Kennedy. Oh, he turned well on that. In behind that net. Still has it. Back to Stanfield. A drive!
Oh, hello.
He blocked that shot. Pass by Mitch. Lead and Kareem's open. That's a super pass by Jamal Wilson.
Come on, let's cap. Nice job.
Today I'm going to be talking about a niche game mode locked under the hidden alternate game modes tab on the main menu. I don't know about you guys, but I don't play sports because I actually prefer having fun and playing video games. Why would you want to get frustrated and sweaty or get pushed around and mentally drained playing sports when I can simulate that entire experience in real time playing Team Fortress 2? Sure, I could go find some weird mini society by joining a random community server, but I think I'd rather play on an official Valve server. It seems that all the bad robots have stopped infesting the game, so let's talk about that time Bad Robot made a game. You see, back in 2015, Valve would actually update the game they developed, and would even bring in outside help to work on it. Revolutionary, mind-blowing, I know. And if you didn't know, Bad Robot is a television and movie production studio led by J.J. Abrams and some other people, and in 2015 they decided they really liked TF2 and wanted to make a brand new game mode for it. With the release of the Beta Map Workshop, Valve was actually making new maps. Remember Cactus Canyon or RD Asteroid? Yeah, that entire genre of map and game mode creation seemed to have vanished off the face of the earth, but Bad Robot used the workshop tools to make their first map for Passtime, the hit brand new game mode of soccer, hockey, basketball. So in early 2015, I and a bunch of other people were rounded up and decided to beta test this strange new game mode. And while I don't have any of my own footage from back then to show off, let's just say things from the very beginning were pretty rocky.
Does he have the ball? Yes! Okay. Throw it in the enemy goal. We can do... Okay. Alright. Is anything going to be viable in this game mode except for Scout?
And there's pretty much always 30 sentries guarding the other side. In fact, this entire game mode is basically just two teams of scouts and engineers, because the scouts are going to be going for the ball because you want to run fast and you want to be able to jump around, and then you're going to have your engies throwing 3 sentries in front of your goal, because why would you let anyone get close to it?
But hey, things worked out, and it was a complete surprise when at the very bottom of the Meet Your Match update page, it was announced that Passtime was officially out of beta and was a full-on game mode. Players who tested it during its early phases were even given an early participation pin as a little trophy. As you can see, I still have mine. So what is Passtime? Well, imagine soccer, but you can hurt the other player. Okay, well, that just kind of sounds like American football, right? Okay, well, imagine football, but you can literally fight the opposing team. Okay, you know what? That just sounds like hockey. Okay, so imagine hockey, but you can kill the opposing team, and every time you score a goal, something explodes. Passtime can have its roots traced back to Team Fortress Classic. Back then, there was a game mode called Push, where one player has to grab the ball from the warehouse in the center of the field and run it into the enemy base and place it on the raised square platform to score a goal. The biggest differences being that there's only one map, and you can still use weapons when in possession of the ball. I actually reinstalled TF Classic to try and get like my own authentic footage, but I couldn't find anyone playing. I guess, you know, no one wants to take a break from deathmatching the same 25 or so middle-aged dads. Back to TF2. Now, I know what you're thinking. If the goal of the game is to take the ball and score, wouldn't you just pick the fastest class? Yes, absolutely you will, and you'll find no shortage of scouts on either team. In fact, let me just break it down for you that Passtime is a fundamentally flawed game mode, and explain why I don't find it very fun to play. So, the core gameplay revolves around a 12-person team trying to take the Passtime Jack and score a goal into the opponent's base. You can do this by running up to it and throwing it with primary fire, although the range at which you throw the Jack is very pitiful and doesn't change depending on who throws it. Like you'd think maybe someone like Soldier or Heavy would throw it farther and higher since they're stronger, but no, it doesn't work that way. You see, if everyone is just going to play Scout, then what is the point of playing the other classes? Oh, I know. If you pick Heavy, your large health pool will help you take the Jack to victory, right? Oh, or as a Soldier, the rocket jumps you make can surely streamline the... Hold on, wait. Did you think you could use your weapon? stupid idiot! You're completely vulnerable when holding the jack, and if you aren't surrounded by your teammates, you're constantly marked for death, meaning you are always going to be taking mini crits. 300 HP is heavy literally doesn't matter if you're taking double damage. Just like sports in real life, there's going to be ball hogs that try to run off and do their own thing and hog all the glory to themselves. In reality, in order to succeed in Passtime, you have to have layers of human meat shields guarding you at all times, preferably a soldier for backup and a medic for healing. When surrounded by teammates, everyone will slowly regain health, and whoever you pass the jack to, if they're in danger, are temporarily invulnerable. That sounds really awesome when you read the wiki, but nobody ever actually plays together or coordinates a real tactic. Let me show you what actually happens in the average game of Passtime. Is, of course, what I would say if I had any footage to show you, because I've been waiting to get into this game for over an hour! I'm not exaggerating when I say that nobody even plays this mode, which makes it impossible to get footage for! So the footage you're watching is probably stolen because I'm a thief, and if not, I'll put up a disclaimer or something. Even making my own server with bots didn't work because they wouldn't actually participate. Generating a nav mesh didn't help either. So we have a game mode that only has 3 maps, isn't made by Valve, which means they can't add community-made maps, and nobody plays it whatsoever. I've never met a single Passtime fan, and I don't think they exist. Sure, someone might comment, but Waylon, I've been a fan since 2015. No, you haven't. You're just saying that to make sure you don't fit in. Actually, wait 1 fucking minute. Stop the goddamn presses. I actually met the world's biggest Passtime fan.
I love Passtime.
When trying to gather footage. So listen up, you. I'm sure it'll be hard for me to shit talk your favorite thing ever, but I have to make this video. Let me give you a rundown of what you'll see when you load into your average game of Passtime. You'll notice the 2 to 3 scouts on your team at any given moment, or the guy who will instead change his mind and then switch to scout shortly after starting. You see, when holding the jack, it's not like you get a speed boost or anything. Did you think that maybe Heavy would get a nice boost to counteract his slowness and maybe, take advantage of that 300 HP he has? Nope! He's still just as slow as snail shit, and this time he's worthless to play since, like I said, you're defenseless and marked for death all the time! Of course, if you are in a group of other players, you'll all inherit the fastest player's movement speed. But why bother at all? Why not just pick a scout? If you choose scout, you get the fastest movement speed and a double jump to easily traverse the layout of the maps. So, is there any point in playing the other classes? Nope. The average game of Passtime consists of like 9 scouts and 4 engineers. Because you can still build sentries! There's no class limitations or locked abilities like in medieval mode, which means you can just plop down a few sentries and the entire area around the goal becomes completely untouchable no man's land. There is no way to touch a massive sentry nest as a gaggle of scouts. There is no uber pushing, no strategic rocket or grenade placement, because why wouldn't you put down sentries? Anyway, let's talk about the maps. There are only 3 of them, and they are Brickyard, formerly known as Warehouse, District, and Timbertown. I have never once played a single round of Timbertown. Nobody's ever voted for it, and I've never seen anyone else play on it. I always get stuck with District and Brickyard. Brickyard is just okay. It's a nice map that shares an aesthetic with Manhattan from MVM, so there's nothing to really complain about in the visuals department. Throughout the maps are all these little ramps and jump pads that boost you up and around, making traversal pretty easy, but I feel like despite this there aren't enough of them. I just feel like there should be more of them scattered around the map, like there aren't any where you'd think there would obviously otherwise be. Like on the roof of the main red building that oversees the goal area. To score a goal, you have to hit them into these big team-colored goalposts. Yet every map also has this giant wall with giant eye-catching arrows and a little window suggesting you throw the jack into it to score a goal. When in reality, all it does is blow the jack away. Brickyard is especially guilty of this because the wall is front and center. It's the first thing you see when you're heading towards the goal. And yes, I know, to score a goal, you have to actually physically walk up and touch the wall. But that doesn't excuse the giant eye-catching arrows that clearly suggest you have to throw the jack into it. Back when Brickyard was called Warehouse, the goalpost was etched here into the wall, but when it came out of beta, they took the goal and awkwardly moved it to the right onto this little ramp, which every map since has also done. Even when I know you have to physically touch the wall, it still tricks me every now and then because it really does make you think you have to throw it in, because that's how all the other goalposts work. And I know it tricks everyone else too, because maybe having giant arrows pointing down will make people think this is a goal. And I've seen tons of other players get tricked into throwing it there too. Speaking of throwing, by passing the jack in between teammates, you build up a meter at the top of the screen, and when it's filled, you can open a second bonus goal. But the likelihood of you finding teammates that regularly pass the jack and actually coordinate are next to none, since one or two guys will likely always just keep the jack to themselves and try to solo score it. There's also the aforementioned sentry problem, where it feels like the goals on this map are filled with perfectly sentry-shaped little dugouts and places to neatly put all your buildings. This is not a good thing. Like I said earlier, you can just plop down 3 or 4 sentries and the enemy team will have no hope to score a goal at all! Even if you have the jack and you're running to the enemy goal and you have a medic on you, that's still just 2 completely defenseless dudes trying to take on sentries. Like, you aren't gonna drop the jack and then try to use your gun, because then someone will just take it and run away with it. A single engineer will completely shut down anyone attempting to have any fun. This is Badwater and upward last levels of shutdown. It isn't fun to deal with at all, and that raises another huge glaring issue. The rules of the game are first to 5 points wins. Sounds normal and all that. I mean, you scoring more points than your enemy seems to be the rule of every game since the dawn of sports. The problem with that is in real life, you can't just score 1 goal then build 5 sentries and keep the jack to yourself. Something I frequently encountered is that one team would score 1 point, or they'd be 1 or 2 points ahead, and then hog the jack all to themselves and hide behind their sentries they had their engineers build until time runs out and they win the game. Pastime is like a big pot of jambalaya with tons of ideas all swimming around together, but I don't feel like they all mesh well enough. It's like they want this big focus on teamwork and movement, but the game itself still plays like every other game mode. If they actually wanted to change it up, Bad Robot could have done more to make things stick out. Limit classes so scouts don't dominate the game. Take away certain weapons or abilities. Give whoever holds the jack a speed boost or some resistances. Don't punish the guy holding the jack with debuffs because he isn't surrounded by teammates, because chances are he's probably the only one on that team actually trying. You should be punishing deliberate ball hogs and make it so, I don't know, the same player can't pick up the jack again after just scoring a goal. Of course, I'm actually pitching these ideas like someone's actually listening, and then they're gonna go play, and then they're gonna go update the game mode. Oh, and maybe, just maybe, don't design every map to be symmetrical, because you know what that means? It means every single map, especially Brickyard and Timbertown, is a giant sniper sightline. Every map is a straight line! If there's even a semi-competent sniper on the other team, kiss the idea of having fun goodbye, because you will be shut down every time you try to leave spawn. Oh, and guess what? When getting the footage for this video, I actually managed to play on Timbertown. And now I understand why nobody fucking plays this map. It's a giant, wide open sightline where you can get killed at any point. And god damn, this bad boy can fit so many sentries in it. Listen up, folks. If the other team are just gonna be a bunch of assholes with their 5 sentries and their 3 snipers and their 6 scouts, don't give them any respect. Don't bother trying to play fair. Don't bother trying to actually put up with their bullshit. Just maybe score 1 point ahead of them and then ball hog until time ends and you win. Yeah, it's dirty, but they were dirty first, so at this point you're already playing dirty. Might as well, right?
'Cause fuck them, that's why.
So, we have a game mode that nobody plays, tucked under an alt tab on the main menu that nobody uses, in a game where all anyone ever wants to do is just play Payload all day and nothing else. Well, I'd say those things go together well enough to spell out that Pastime is a dead game mode. And just to really enforce that as true, and not just some blanket YouTuber statement, here's the sped up footage of me queuing for just Pastime during prime game hours. I left my computer running while I went to the store, and it took a little under 2 hours to find a game. And even when I did, the server wasn't even full. So what always happens is you end up in these big maps with 4 or 5 players total running around having no idea what to do because the little dialogue box that pops up once when you join the server is not thorough enough to explain what's happening. Payload? Self-explanatory concept. Push your objective to the end, and if you're on the other team, try to stop them from doing so. Capture the flag? Everyone knows how to play that. Again, self-explanatory. Attack, defend, king of the hill, 5 CP, easy to understand. You don't have to teach anyone how to play those modes. Pastime? What the fuck am I supposed to be doing here? Why are there boosts? Are we supposed to group up or should I run it forward myself? Oh, I see everyone else is playing as scout, so I should play as him too. Pastime is fundamentally flawed and goes against how TF2 is designed in the modern age. Isn't it just a little interesting how modern maps always litter their corners with medium-sized ammo and health packs, yet earlier maps often have little to no healing, and when they do, it's always small packs? That's because as the game progressed, modern mappers and developers know that not every team is guaranteed to have a medic or an engineer, while early game was designed with a thought process that every team would have a medic or an engineer. So there's less health packs to go around. Pastime isn't designed that way. It's built in a way that expects everyone to team up and play to each other's strengths, and when you don't do that, you're punished for it. But if I haven't made my point clear yet, nobody is going to do that. People who play this game are rather selfish and would prefer to just get a few cool frags. They have zero interest in carrying the fucking ball around, and they have zero interest in trying to pretend like they're actually playing a real sport. I don't have much more to say about this mode, but it's broken and it sucks and it isn't fun to play is a good summary though. But of course, I can't talk about Pastime without mentioning the elephant in the room, the utterly insane achievement tied to Brickyard. You see, Brickyard has a playable secret blog post in the form of the Toon Marasmus's Multidimensional Television achievement. How do you get it? Well, I'll tell you, obviously. Okay, so right off the bat, this is incredibly tedious and annoying to do so, and I didn't get footage of it, which is why I'm stealing footage from
S4 videos.
Thanks for being on the show. Oh, and by the way, you can't even do it anymore, even if you have a full lobby of friends. You need 9 players all coordinating at once to make this work, and the casual queue of 6 people, max, isn't enough. So I hope you can find 3 ready and willing strangers. In order to make this work, here's step 1. You gotta go to this little guitar to the side of the red base and just stand there. That makes a bonus white goal appear on the same spot over on the blue side. That'll open a secret door in both teams' respective spawn rooms that takes you to a teleporter. You take the teleporter and you find yourself in another secret room with a TV and a bunch of shit on the floor. After you shoot the electrical outlet the TV is connected to, you and your 8 friends have to stand on very specific shit stains pertaining to each class, and they're team specific as well. You need a blue spy, scout, demo, and engineer. Then you need a red soldier, sniper, pyro, medic, and heavy. So not only do you need friends, you need to convince the other team to help out too. Anyway, after you pull off this black magic of getting people to coordinate, somehow that fixes the TV and an image appears on the projector and you're rewarded with this hat and this little medal that shows off how Pastime is canonically Soldier's favorite thing ever. So that's Pastime. Is it an interesting idea? Hell yeah. Is it fun under hyper-specific circumstances? Maybe. And if you really love this game and you hate watching me fling shit at it, well, why just sit and watch this entire video then, smart guy? All that matters at the end of the day is that we're never getting more Pastime maps because they weren't made by Valve, and I'm sure Bad Robot's too busy making Star Trek 4 or 5 or whatever the hell J.J. Abrams wants to do next than they are to work on this niche little piece of roadkill. So yes, all that matters is that I'm smart and handsome, and my opinions totally matter. So get out there and demand that Valve update Pastime. Then maybe they'll get around to updating Manpower. Then maybe they'll bring back Hydro. Sky's the limit, we don't give a shit. Bring back Arena Mode! Thank you for watching my nonsense. Like and subscribe because I know you found this video entertaining. And thank you to my wonderful patrons like that guy. And here's some cool fan art that was submitted in my Discord server.